Hello there guys, my name is J.O. Gimpy Dwarf and welcome back to another Space Engineers update video with me. So, what have they updated today? They've added steering wheels of sorts. Just trust me on this one. They've added wheel controls. The WSD buttons basically now are your left, right, forwards and backwards. And they've added configurable welder and grinder speeds, a show on hood feature for blocks, new inventory filter, join game search box, hacking is also slower. Let's start a new world. Oh, new world, don't you dare close your eyes. And go custom world, let's go easy start 1. Now if you go into the advanced options, you now have these two options available. One called welding speed, one called grinding speed. You basically have the realistic settings as normal, but then you have 3 types of settings which are guaranteed to be a lot quicker and to the mod sort of standards, because there's a mod that actually quickened up the welding and grinding speeds, and apparently they should be on par now, so you don't have to use that mod anymore. So I think the first thing I'll have to show you, just because it's like a new block and stuff, is the suspension block for large and small ships and stations. So we're in this world, and what I am going to do is I'm basically going to convert this over to a ship that is able to drive as well as have wheels, fly as well as have wheels. That's what I was trying to say. There we go, words. So this is the new block. It's called the suspension block, well, wheel suspension, and when you place it down, a wheel is automatically added to the top. You can add wheels onto it afterwards if the area isn't big enough for a wheel. So basically these are basically made to move up and down like this, or left and right, whichever way you want to call it, and they turn forwards and backwards as well. So they're basically for turning, steering, driving, whatever. So we're just going to convert this car, well, we're going to convert this into a car. And you have to have them in one or two ways. If you have it this way, it will be weird and you won't have a clue what's going on, like I had earlier. I'm just going to add on some wheels here as well. So let's drop some wheels on there, and drop some wheels there and there. For some reason that didn't put it down. There we go. So if I get an artificial mass block, there we go, and plonk her down. So that ship's going to touch the floor, hopefully anyway. There we go. 4 artificial mass blocks, a bit OTT, but who cares. So this does move, but that's only for the thrusters. It can't actually take off anymore, this ship, because it's too weighed down with artificial mass. But if you go to your cockpit, you now have 3 options. In the cockpit you now can control thrusters on their own, or you can control wheels on their own, or you can control both at the same time. Way confusing if you do that. But I'm going to select control wheels, and basically this allows for the movement of the wheels, and then you can use your W and S keys to turn. P is for handbrake, so that just won't allow you to move at all. You can still turn, but you can't move. And basically these are just electrical powered. You can use your gyroscopes to help you turn a bit quicker, but trouble is they do have drastic effects on you know, just general sort of flying, because you do end up taking off a little bit. But there's also another cool feature. If I go into here and go antenna, if I now add an antenna to, say, the top of this, it shows up as an antenna. But if I go into here and say I want to know where this cockpit is for future reference, just in case I lose the ship, I can turn on show on hood. So this basically now shows up, but it'll only show up when I have the antenna. So this will mean you'll be able to use the antenna to, I don't know, maybe potentially spot enemy ships before they even come, because they can set these things to show up for their own purposes, and then you can basically see their bits and bobs. Now back to the suspension. If you come down to the bottom, you have this suspension, 3x3, whatever size you go for. You now have, they can control steering of the suspension from cockpit, and you can also say if the wheel is propelled or not, so you can actually have just a wheel that's spinning on its own but you can steer it, or a wheel that can propel but you can't steer, so it just goes in a straight line. So you can do stuff like that. You can turn on, like, you can select the damping, the strength, which basically makes it a lot stronger and sticking to the floor, and friction, which makes it super powerful, I believe anyway. So if I go P, take off the handbrake, it becomes godlike and responsiveness. But look at this, oh my god. This is one of the main issues. If you have too much, you will, you know, sort of come into a slight spot of bother. But that's nothing major really. Switches. Oh, I just did a nice landing there. But as you can see, they're very sticky now because I've upped the friction and things like that. But P is for handbrake, as I've said, so it doesn't move anymore, it just stays solid in place. I've kind of made a nice little car here. That's that feature. If I... has this got any ports? Yeah, so if I go into here now, I'm going to show you another feature. You now have a hide empty section, so if you click this it will only show up what is actually fueled with stuff, or, you know, has some sort of volume or mass to it. So this small cargo container has, you know, some ammunition in, and it allows for just easier access to the menus, and you can use a search if you want, if you know what you're looking for, but you can just go hide empty and just scroll through stuff. It's really, really, really useful, especially on larger ships and larger small ships as well. So, and you can't actually, you can't actually go into the factions or info tab through this small ship, apparently, or through here. That's a bit strange. Should let you do that, but oh well. So that's all the features, I believe. Oh, that's another thing. I can't really show it, but if there's an enemy team and I come up to grind their ship, because it's owned by them, like say if I go to grind up their door, because it's owned by them, it takes me like 10 times longer to grind it, so you're there for a lot more time. So they call it hacking, but it's purely just infiltration than anything else. So that's basically been all the add-ons and things for today's update. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please like, power, and of course subscribe. Button is at the end, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!